Let's take a look at a real-world problem. How many 7/500 pound packages can be made with 6 pounds of sunflower seeds? Okay, so I want to divide 6 pounds of sunflower seeds. 6 is going to be my dividend. Six is going to be my dividend by 7/500 pounds. I want to see how many times I can get 7/500 out of 6. Again, I'm going to move my decimal to make 7/500 into a whole number. I moved the decimal to the end, and I've now made 7/500 into 75. I moved it 2 places, so I'm going to do the same thing inside the house. The decimal would be at the end of the 6, since 6 is a whole number, and I just need to move it 2 places to the right. And I add 2 zeros to fill in those place value spots. 75 goes into 600. I know at least 6 times. I know 25 is left over each time. So I'm going to say about 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Eight times 7 is 56. Plus 4 more is 60. And I get 600 exactly. I subtract and have nothing left. I can make 8 bags with 7/500 of a pound of sunflower seeds in each if I start it with 6 pounds. Let's take a look at the steps to dividing decimal numbers. First, you move the decimal to make the divisor a whole number. So that's what we did on the outside of the house there. So we moved the decimal to make the divisor a whole number. We turn it into 16 in this case. Step 2. Move the decimal and the dividend the same number of times. So I'm going to go to my dividend. I know that this is a whole number 48, so the decimal is always at the end of a whole number. Since I moved the decimal in my divisor 2 times, I'm going to move the decimal in my dividend 2 times. 1, 2. $16 into 4,800. Step 3. Move the decimal straight up. So in my quotient will be up top. I'm going to just move this decimal straight up to the top. Step 4 is to divide. The answer is your quotient. Okay, so after I divide, I have my answer and I'm done. 16, I know goes into 48 3 times. 3 times 16 is 48. I subtract and I get 0. If I divide 16 into 0, I get 0. I'm going to continue to get 0, and I'm going to divide 16 into 0 again and get 300. So the answer here is 300. All right, go ahead and pause it. I want you to pause, and I want you to try these out and hit the pause button again when you're ready to check your answers. One-fourth divided by -3/8. Okay, when we divide, we've got to change mixed to improper. Well, these are not mixed numbers, so I don't have to worry about that. Top and bottom simplify when you divide, stay, switch, flip. Okay, I remember that in the rules earlier, we have to stay, switch, flip before we can simplify because we have to change it to multiplication first. So let's do that. 1/4 will stay. We'll switch division and multiplication. And we'll flip 3/8 to 8/3. And then we can top and bottom simplify. Are there any top numbers that are common with the bottom numbers? Well, I know 4 and 8 have a common factor. 2 goes into both of them. 4 goes into both of them. 4 is a larger number, and that's going to reduce my answer more. So let's go with 4. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 8 twice. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. And 2/3 is my answer. Number 2, we have -12 and 42 hundredths divided by -4 and 8/10. And there is a negative sign there. So it's a negative divided by a negative. I happen to know that that's a positive. So I know my answer right off the bat is going to be a positive number. Let's go ahead and divide those. I'm going to put a positive sign up front to show I know my answer is going to be positive. I go ahead and figure out that first so I can be done with that part. And I don't have to worry about getting my whole answer wrong because I left the negative or positive sign off of my answer. Which is what I did in number 1. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, or a positive times a negative is a negative. This is a -3/8. I left the negative sign off in my answer. It's very easy to do, so it really should be the very first thing we take care of. -2/3. All right, so let's go back down here. 4 and 8/10, I've got to move the decimal over one place to make it a whole number. I get 48. 12 and 42 hundredths, I'm going to move my decimal one place. So now I have 124 and 2/10. I'm going to bring the decimal straight up. Got to make sure that when you divide that you put your quotient right above the last digit of the number that you divided into. For instance, 48, I'm dividing into 124. And so whatever I get, I'm going to put right above the 4, which is the last digit in the number I'm dividing into. 48 goes into 100 twice. So I'm going to estimate it's probably going to be about 2. 2 times 48 is 96. 96, the difference from 96 to 124, 96 is 4 away from 100. And then 100 is 24 away from 124. So 24 and 4 is 28. Bring down my 2. 48 into 282. I know 48 goes into 100 twice, into 200 2 more times. That would be 4 times. And then 82, I would say probably go about 2 more times since there'll be a little bit left over from the 200 that I've already divided into. So I'm going to say it'll go 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 4 is 24, so 6 times 40 is 240. Plus 40 more is 280. And I get 288. My estimate was too high, so I have to change that 6 into a 5. Five times 8 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 more is 24. I get 42 and bring down my 0, 420. 48 into 420 goes about 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 4 is 32. So 8 times 40 is 320. 320 plus 60 more is 380. And I subtract 84 from another 100. What's the difference in 84 to another 100? It would be 16. And then 400 to 420 would be 20 more, so that's 36. $48 into 360, I would say goes 7 times, excuse me. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 5 more is 33. So 336 from 360, and I made it to the thousands place, and that's where I'm going to stop. Even though I know that there are more numbers behind it, I don't need to go any further. The thousands place is far enough. I may not see the repeating pattern yet, but I may not see the repeating pattern for another 5, 6 digits. So I need to go ahead and stop right here. I'm going to put 3 points behind it just to show that there are more numbers to come, but you can stop at the thousands place. All right, let's go to the last one. We have mixed numbers, and we're going to change them mixed to improper. So bottom times big plus top. 7 times 10 is 70, plus 2 is 72. And it's negative. Divided by bottom times big is 4. Bottom times big is 44, plus 4 is 48, 11th, negative 48 11ths, and then I've got to, after I change mixed to improper, I need to stay, switch, flip. When I stay, switch, flip, I want to top and bottom simplify if I can. So I'm going to look at my top numbers and my bottom numbers and simplify them. 2 goes into 72. That becomes 36, and 2 goes into 48. And that becomes 24. 2 goes into 36. That becomes 18. 2 goes into 24. That becomes 12. 18 and 12, I can see that 6 goes into both of them. 6 goes into 18. 3 times, and 6 goes into 12 twice. So now I have 3 times 11, which is 33, and 7 times 2, which is 14. A negative times a negative is a positive, so I know my answer is going to be a positive. And 33 by 14 is going to be 2. That's 28. Now, 28 from 33 is 5, so I'll have 5 left over. 2 and 5 14ths.